Well, I guarantee that's a track you've never heard before. The group's called MP4. Now, we all know politicians left to their own devices get up to all sorts of things, both inside and outside of politics. Take Bill Clinton, President of the USA. He had lots of interests besides politics. Oh, but he's only one of 8 presidents who share the distinction of, guess what? He's a musician. Like John Quincy Adams, Chester Alan Arthur, Thomas Jefferson, Richard Nixon, Harry Truman, Woodrow Wilson. Almost a band of presidents. But sadly, they're separated by centuries. Then there's our lot. Oh, we had Edward Heath. He fancied himself as a conductor, probably more than the orchestras he conducted did. And notably, more recently, Tony Blair, guitarist extraordinary. He's recently taken to cancelling public appointments. Nevertheless, happily enough for us, no such modesty from my guest this afternoon, who's 1/4 of the living legend of parliamentarians that make up MP4. Kevin Brennan, MP for Cardiff West, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Legends in our own imaginations we are.
Something like that. I mean, you are the only parliamentarian pop group ever, really, aren't you?
Well, we think so. We haven't really found evidence that anyone's had, you know, a complete band lineup of elected members previously. So we think we were probably the first.
And tell me about the other 2, first of all.
Well, yes.
That's 3. Sorry.
Yeah, there are 3. I mean, the drummer is a guy called Greg Knight, who's a Conservative member of Parliament for East Yorkshire. The keyboard player is someone called Pete Wishart, who actually is, you know, made a career in music as a keyboard player for Runrig.
That's right.
Which some of the listeners may have known, and they've still got a big fan base out there. Scottish band, sort of
Yep.
folk rock. And then our bass player is a chap called Ian Causey, who was, until the election in May, the MP for Brigg Gould. Unfortunately, he lost his seat, so he's. We're going to have to consider whether we rename the band, keep him on, or hold X Factor style auditions in the House of Commons to replace him. We haven't quite decided yet.
Well, that would be fun. But according to your schedule, you're in the middle of rehearsing at the moment. Is that still happening?
Yeah, we have got some gigs to fulfil. We're playing in Manchester at the Labour Party conference. Although we're a cross-party band, we've always agreed we play at each other's conferences if invited. So we're doing something there for the Daily Mirror and UK Music in Manchester. And we're also doing a Help for Heroes gig in Surrey later on in October. We've been invited down there to try and raise some money for Help for Heroes. So we've got a couple of live performances upcoming.